Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of WingSmith Academy. Today we're going to be talking about something that can be pretty frustrating until you understand all of its features and how to use it, and that's the beeper. So all WingSmith drones come with some style of beeper. I'm going to show you both different kinds and really how they can affect the quad, some of the frustrations you might run into when you're first getting used to them, and then describe how they're just a really great feature. So to get started, there are two different kinds of beeper. One of them is going to be what comes in your Hummingbird and Hummingbird Pro, and another is going to be what's in your Falcons. So in your Hummingbird Pros, you've got something that's called an active beeper. And the active beeper is a little tough to show you on camera, but it's right underneath the back tail here, just under the carbon. And you might be able to see a little bit of black shining through there. That is actually this, with this little cover taken off. And what this is an active buzzer. It has two pins and basically beeps really loudly. It does exactly what you think it does. This is a 90 decibel beeper, and the idea is as soon as electricity is passed from this, taller pin to the negative pin, it's going to go off. We also have the type of buzzer that's in a Falcon, but this one's a little different. You can see it through the side here. And this button right here is for your active beeper. Your beeper actually has its own little buzzer in it, and it has its own battery. So if your battery were to come out of your Falcon, your beeper is still going to be able to go off. These are extremely useful when you're trying to find your quad. And if you've ever looked for it in long grass or spent a long time hunting for it in some place with some bushes, or you can't find it because it went behind a fence, this is incredibly useful. Your GPS is also very useful if you're looking for it at longer distances or you want to do a return to home feature, but a buzzer is kind of like a foolproof way to find your quad. But if you receive your drone and you don't know how to use your buzzer, it can be pretty frustrating. So here's a quick tutorial on basically getting started and then how you can use your buzzer. So when I first get my drone, imagine I'm taking it out of the box and I've got my controller, I've got my drone, I've got my battery, and I'm really excited to get going. So I'm going to take my battery, and the first thing I'm going to do is plug it into my drone. And you might think, oh, that beeping, it's definitely going to stop. That beeping is not going to stop. It's going to keep going because your drone is telling you that it's not connected to a controller. So I'm going to unplug this. And now that beeping means that your quad has disconnected from its battery. It's doing this to signal to you that it thinks it may have crashed and it wants you to come and find it. To turn that off, you just hold the button on the side for 3 seconds. And then you release, and you can hear that beep, beep, beep. So just to show you that again, I'm going to take my battery, I'm going to plug it into my drone. My controller is not connected, and so that beeping is just going to continue because it's telling you that it needs a connection to fly. I'm going to unplug it. And now that beeping is meaning I think I'm lost or I've disconnected from my battery and I need you to come and find me. So you pick it up, you press the button that's right beside the camera there, and you hold it for 3 seconds. There you go. Okay, so we didn't actually solve the problem. We had beeping the whole time. So how do we get around that? Well, the easy answer is you turn your controller on before you plug your drone battery in. So I'm going to do that now. I hold my button.
Welcome to HTX.
Controller turns on. Excellent. You can see if I move around, we've got some control. This is already bound together. And so I'm going to plug my battery in.
Telemetry connected.
Telemetry is connected. You get the 3 confirmation beeps. That's it. There's no beeping. Now, I'm going to unplug my drone. It's doing the same thing that it's letting me know it's disconnected from the battery. So I'm going to hold this for 3 seconds. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to hold this for 3 seconds. There you go. And our radio announced telemetry lost, if you heard that. So now I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to show you how to activate your buzzer with your controller. So I'm going to take my battery.
Telemetry recovered.
We've plugged it in, and I've taken the propellers off, as you always should when you're doing an indoor demonstration or indoor testing. And so now I'm going to activate my buzzer on this quad. On this one, remember that we've set up our controller, and if you haven't watched the video on how to set up your controller or how it's already set up, you should go watch that first. But now we're going to activate it, and it's on this SD switch. So you can hear it's pretty loud. It's actually going to activate on either the far or the medium position, and if I want to turn it off, I flick it back to its home position or its default position. So on the TX15 Max, that's going to be the SD switch, and on the Radio Master Pocket, that's actually going to be on this SD switch. So it's the same switch or trigger, but you can see they're in different styles. This one is in like a game controller's trigger, and this one's in a switch. So pretty basic, it's in the same position. Just wanted to show you. And then if you have any trouble, you'll want to use your beeper to find your drone on command, and if your battery has become disconnected, then you will automatically have the beeping, similar to this. And after about 60 seconds, that beeping is going to get quite a bit louder. So I'm just going to turn this off with a 3-second hold. There you go. And the big difference between the Hummingbird and the Hummingbird Pro is that between the Falcon and any version of the Hummingbird is that the Falcon has that active buzzer, and so, it has the buzzer with the battery inside, and so it's always going to beep. Like when you unplug the battery, it's always going to beep. That's the purpose of the buzzer, and so just get in the habit of holding that button for 3 seconds and you're going to be great. It's an extremely useful feature if you got to go find it somewhere. Whereas the Hummingbird and the Hummingbird Pro have these active buzzers that are only active when the battery is connected. And so while it will do the same beeping if you push the trigger, and it'll do the same beeping if you don't have your controller connected when you plug the battery in, what you're actually going to see is that if the battery dislodges or ejects from the quad, it won't beep anymore because it won't have anything to power this little beeper. So I hope that gives you a good idea of what the beepers are, how to use them, how to activate them, and how to turn them off. And if you want to do any kind of configuration around that beeper, you can always do that in Betaflight because this is all open for change. You can set it up any way you like. This is just the default way that WingSmith has set it up to get it into your hands. So otherwise, have a good time, everybody, and happy flying. All right, so if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out anytime, and otherwise we'll see you in the next one.